10:16 a.m. May all members present state their name for the record.
Alexander Doe.
Caroline Kim.
Rest of the meetings Elstad.
Andrew Larson.
And Abigail Mohammed as chair. May all members present please state their name for the record.
Tyrus Clark.
Perfect. Please keep in mind that these meetings may be visually or audio recorded. And we're going to go ahead and get started with SSB 2026-1015. I am the author, just for the record. I just wanted to clarify in the rules and procedures, the procedure for office vacancy. We now move into 5 minutes of question and answer, starting now. Okay, seeing as there are no questions, we now move into 5 minutes of debate, starting now.
I agree with Senator Larson. I think 2 meetings is relatively straightforward and reasonable. So this feels pretty streamlined and straightforward to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's super important to have this limit. As the author of the bill mentioned informally before the meeting, it shouldn't really come to this, but if it does, I think it's super important that we have a limit in place to avoid any potential problems.
All right, see as there's no more debate, we move into 2 minutes of final privilege, which I have waived, and we now move into motions. Are there any motions at this time?
I move to pass SSB 2026-1015 by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to pass SSB 2026-1015 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. We are now in line for SSB 2026-1016. There is an author present. I just, for the record again, wanted to specify what student government funded organization is for the purpose of constituency. Again, it says earlier in the code for the purpose of constituency. So a student government funded organization is one that is a GRSO that receives funding. We now are in line for 5 minutes of question and answer starting now. Seeing as there's no questions, we're now in line for 5 minutes of debate starting now.
I think that this is a good clarification. I think it helps people who are in the public to understand what senators do for constituency, and I think it is also a good guideline for senators.
Yeah, I agree. This is great. I think it's helpful to use precise language, particularly in situations like constituency where it's a kind of a by the books thing. I like that this goes hand in hand with recent budget bills that have been passed by the Budget and Appropriations Committee, which also name dropped GRSOs. So I think this is a helpful piece of legislation.
Yeah, I agree. I think some of the constituency can get a little bit confusing, so just making it more specific is always going to be better.
Alright, so as there's no more debate, we're now in line for 2 minutes of final privilege, which I waived, and we're now in line for motions.
I move to pass SSB 2026-1016 by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to pass SSB 2026-1016 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We're now in line for SSB 2026-1017. I am an author. I'll start now. This is just procedurally withdrawing legislation at the end of academic and legislative terms. We don't want anything to carry over, let's say, in between 2025 and 2026, for example. All number of bills get changed, and then same thing in between elections. The senators who vote on a first reading might not be the same senator who votes on a second reading in between the different election meetings. So we want to make sure that we keep that kind of constant stuff like that. And then as for the veto legislation section, again, that's something that I've never seen happen, but it's just a safeguard in case. I know that may have happened in the past, so. We're now in line for 5 minutes of question and answer, starting now.
I know the previous version of the rules and procedures had a pretty similar rule and procedure. To your memory, was it both academic and legislative terms in the old rules and procedures, or was it one or the other?
It was very similar. Like the wording was very similar. I just wanted to specify it. I believe it was just legislative. I'm not sure. I can check though. Do you have the old rules and procedures up?
I can find them. So I should have checked before, but I just thought that while you were presenting.
I just know that I wrote these a while ago. I just know that, let's see, Yeah, so it says all outstanding legislation at the end of each academic and at the Senate meeting in which validation of Senate election results occurs. So that would indicate that it's academic and legislative, because legislative is the end of the validation of election results. So I just clarified it because
I like your word.
it was a little confusing, like at the Senate meeting when validation of Senate election results occurs, each fall, like it was.
Which is the same thing as the end of the
legislative term,
So,
exactly,
yeah,
so.
this looks good now, thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions? Seeing none, we now move into 5 minutes of debate, starting now. All right, seeing none, we now move into final privilege. I waive, and we now move into motions. Are there any motions?
I move to pass SSB 2026-1017 by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to pass SSB 2026-1017 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We're now in line for SSB 2026-1018. There is an author present. Wow. 5 minutes starting now. This is just clarifying that we should follow the agenda posted on the rules and procedures. I figure that that's the best order. I don't want anything to be switched around, especially, you know, amendments to the minutes, amendments to the agenda. It should go after reports. Like that's the biggest change that would happen if this were passed, just because we don't want to be able to, like, you know, for example, move amendments to the agenda before public comment and then get rid of public comment for the day. Like that's the last thing that we would want happening. So making sure that it's in like a clear and concise order that's consistent for every Senate meeting. Yeah. Okay, we're now in line for 5 minutes of question and answer starting now. Seeing none, we're now in line for 5 minutes of debate starting now. All right, seeing none, we're now in line for 2 minutes of final privilege, which I waive. We're now in line for any motions. Are there any motions at this time?
I move to pass SSB 2026-1018 by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to pass SSB 2026-1018 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Seeing as there's no more legislation on the agenda, I adjourn this meeting at 11:25 a.m.